Hello, I'm Gary with Gabbin with Gary. I've been conducting interviews with the people of Ukraine all over the world. Some renowned authors, police officers, teachers, wives, lawyers, soldiers, and just everyday people. I've been conducting these interviews so that the struggles of the Ukrainian people are not forgotten now or in the future. Every Ukrainian deserves to have their story told. This is so dangerous for some, I can't even show you their faces as they worry about retribution to their family from Russian occupied areas. Those interviews, for safety reasons, are just podcasts. Please consider donating to my channel so that I can continue to bring you this content. Again, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you and be safe. I'm Gary with Gabbin with Gary. And I have Kate here for our interview from with the people from Ukraine, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Kate Korotkina. I'm from Kiev and I'm 36.
How long have you been gone from Kiev?
It's about 11 months.
Oh, a long time now. So, so when did you leave?
I lived in April.
In April. All right. So before February 24th, what was your life like, 4 weeks before February 24th?
Actually, I was planning to go with my daughters to my friend and to the sea and to have some good time with them. We were planning the big holidays with tropical fruits, juices, meeting friends, getting sunshine and like something wonderful.
And that's during the past month, before the month before.
Yes, because before any holiday, you need to pack your things, buy the tickets, get ready your hotel. For me, that was easier because I have friend to whom I was going, because having friends all over the world really helped me. But that was like really next about that. I was doing their dentist stuff for them not to get in other country with bad teeth. They were going to school. I was planning like I was going to start trying new part of the business at that moment. And then everything ended like in a moment.
You said that's what it was. What holiday was it?
Oh, that was just like a weekend. Probably that would be more correct word. We were planning weekends, but for a week.
Oh,
Like
okay.
my girls to the sea because that's wonderful idea always to spend some time on the shore, for them to have to try new food, to see new country. We love traveling before because every year before we had a rule that um, on a month we're going to some country like Egypt or Turkey for them to have enough of sea and sunshine. And then in the winter, I usually went somewhere in Europe for a week. So that was their turn to, we were going to one of my friends, and he said, he invited us, like, you should come and spend some time here. I hope you like my country now. And we were getting ready everything because, the papers, the paper, which means that dad doesn't mind if the girls would like go through the border, the dentist, the plan. So we had like usual stuff, which was pretty great. We had plans for the future.
Where were you going to fly to?
Dubai.
Oh, nice.
My
Unfortunately, you didn't go.
uh, I wouldn't say unfortunately, because if the war would start when I would be there, the dogs, cats, and other animals would stay in Ukraine because
Mm.
I wouldn't leave the girls. And I do love my pets more than my soul. They're probably the part of it. But to take the risk to leave children in other country is a big risk, even with the friends, because you do not know what may happen next, like next day.
Right.
So yes, unfortunately we didn't go, but fortunately we didn't leave our animals.
And when, okay, so you were, what day, may I ask, what day were you planning on leaving to go to Dubai?
Uh, in a week after 24th,
Oh,
because
okay.
some dance stuff with the girls, and I was expecting that they will finish them, and after that we may go for vacation.
On March 3rd-ish. Okay. So tell me what it was like and how did you wake up on February 24th?
Actually, I didn't understood what happened. I just hear the sound. It was really loud, and everybody woke up. Everybody, and we were like, "What happens? What is happening?" Um, I'm a bit more luckier than some people who didn't wake up, but I just heard very loud sound. So I need to calm down the girls, and we were waiting for the news. What would somebody say? How would somebody explain what happened? And I live not far from airport Boryspil in Kiev, so that was like pretty powerful sound. And I just like, I don't know, that was like awakening from the horror. Something is happening and you cannot understand what's happening, just the sound. And the windows which are going like waves. What happens? What the hell?
Was your, did you live in a house or did you live in a flat?
In a flat,
Were you high up?
sixth floor.
So you were able to see a little bit over the city.
Not much, because in my part of the city, the houses are like very near to each other. So you
Okay.
hear the sound, you're looking in reaction. Mainly all the houses in Kiev, they do have Viber chats. So if something happens, everybody starts to text what happens. Who knows what's the news? Who can explain what happens? Because from time to time, you may expect for everything, but you always have neighbors, and they will tell what's happening.
Uh-oh. We lost our connection. She comes back right now. Whew,
Yeah, here
here
I
you
do
go.
see you.
Perfect. And how were your girls? I know you said you have two daughters. What were their ages? I'm sorry.
They were 15.
Oh, they're both
Yeah,
15.
yeah, twins.
Oh, beautiful. Um, so how were they reacting?
Mm, just scared for, I would say, for the short time, because we have a very big trust between us. If I'm telling that everything will be okay, they do trust me. And I will tell that everything will be okay, even if I'm not sure about that. Because scare won't help anybody.
No, you have to be strong for your kids.
Yeah. For example, you cannot cry if somebody dies.
That's very sad.
That's probably the saddest moment in a if you move to other country, you may found out that some of your friends are dead because but not by the phone call or anything else. You just read that in Facebook. You're like, hey, he died. And I can do nothing.
That's why
Because
these interviews are so important, so we could document all these the atrocities and just the everyday experience of everybody. Everybody should know what everybody has to go through when a war like this happens. I think it's very important to hear your voice and to hear your story.
I would tell you what's the most scary part of this. When you're living in big city and Kiev is megapolis, there lives about 5 million people, so a lot of people. And from time to time, you see that there is less people, less people, less people, less people, less people. You just see less people in the streets. But then that's the moment when I decided that I should find safe place for my family and for my daughters, dogs, cats, and everybody else. I was in shop. I do not know. Do you have that? It's called Metro Cash and Carry. So I was in that shop. The bombing started, and I saw also that huge windows going by the waves. And I did understood that if I won't move anywhere, and if there is possibility that now I will come home and there will be no home, no daughters, nothing. And that would be totally my fault. It's incorrect thought because I'm not responsible for bombing my country, but that's the main thought which was in my head. Because first of all, like first weeks when everybody were running from my city, they said, okay, you may go, just take daughters, a bag on 20 kilos, and we will like be in Poland in 2 hours, like in a day. But there's one thing that was really important for me, that the animals for whom I took my responsibility, I couldn't leave them. So I rejected that. And there was a moment I was in a fear that I choose my dogs before my children. Very scary, very bad thought. Because if you have big amount of animals or big animals, there's no way you're gonna save all. You just have to have a lot of money, lots of money. And that's where my friends helped me. They collected some money for me to order the car which will drive me to Poland, because I rejected to leave animals and I didn't know how to go.
You said you left 11 months after the war started. Is that correct?
I left my country in April.
Oh,
And the war
sorry.
in February.
So February, March, April. So you were there in what part of April did you leave?
Oh, at the beginning somewhere. I need to check this, but somewhere. I do remember that I celebrated 8th of March at Kiev, and I was not going anywhere because I do believe in my army and in people there, because mostly most of my friends went there, and I did believe that they will win because there is no way they will lose. And about 14 probably. Something like this, I do remember. But I need to check by the photos. Because, you know, if you have very, very stressful situation, your brain, which is mainly cleverer than you, he just clears it all. You're like, I do remember it was very scary. I do remember how we were going on the car, and there was a funny situation that there was only 2 seats for passengers, and we were 3 passengers, like me and my daughters. So I needed them not to fight and to sit on the place between the seats for them to feel more comfortable and not to make fight and not to get scared. Because our driver, he was a wonderful person who found the way. It took him 24 hours for my children not to see any corpse or orcs, something like this. And that was really important for me because I wanted them to get less stress, the minimum stress they could have. Yes, and do understood that that wasn't funny travel or journey or something like this, but I tried to make that as much easier for the child as the child can carry.
Okay, so if you did not go that way, would it have been less than 24 hours to get out to Poland?
I would tell you that if you do not look on the map and if you do not know everybody who is protecting this or that road, you can get in real trouble because a lot of people who are running without any watching around, they died. They were killed for fun. Some were killed because Russians were scared of them, but mainly I do think that's for fun. Because I even know that there was a person from the Red Cross who was executed till he was going to save his wife. And he was going on the car of Red Cross with the documents of Red Cross. And you know that even in Africa, where there's half wild tribes, they do not shoot in Red Cross. Not Russians. Thank you.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we just lost Yana, and they called her what, the angel of the troops out there, and you know,
There's
she
a lot of people, you know, when we were sitting in Kiev, I am the member of FCI system. You probably know that system. That's international system that says that the dogs are one standard. So we have breeders, and breeders were trying to reach people to tell how their yes, that's the boy. He hears that I'm not okay, so he came here to support me, a bit
oh,
like mommy.
that's
I'm
so
here,
wonderful.
worry. I'm here. I'm with you. Do not worry. I'll lay near you. Just do not worry.
That's beautiful.
Брысь, 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 брысь. Кота с собой забери. Я имею в виду вот это. Деревянного. Брысь. Getting my daughter away. Close the door. He does. So, and there was a breeder of, do you know the breed with violet tongue?
No, I never heard of that.
Fluffy one. Chow chow.
Oh, yes.
So that breeder once get some telephone and she called and she was telling that her dogs are starving and they started to eat packs of food, not the food, but packs of food. And the old dogs, they are even not coming to her because they know that they won't get any food. And you're just like, okay, we won't be in that situation. That won't happen to us. But that was scary. We had a beautiful zoo near Kiev. It's called 12 Month, and the owner was writing in his Facebook first month how one after one the animals in the zoo are dying from starving. Like today, this one died and this one, and they said that just the Russian military, they don't give them opportunity to bring food to the zoo. And that's the stuff I would never understand because animals are innocent in any conflict. But who cares?
I care about the animals a lot. It's
Yeah, I just mean that I hope you understand me in correct way. Because people were trying and risking their lives to get some food to the animals.
right.
But the stuff we see a lot, and that was the thing I was reading, and that maybe give me some extra angry and hate to that kind of persons. They just didn't give them opportunity to give that food. So in that situation, like I heard like there the dogs are starving and eating, and I'm like, I need to get food. And there was one situation I do remember. There was only one shop for the animals who were selling food for animals. And people all over the city, they came to that place where the food is sold. And we were staying in a line waiting for each turn. The bombing started, and the people were like, the bomb, like, tish, tish, but we won't go anywhere till we will get food for our animals. And they're like, about 20 people were standing and like, yeah, the alarm was there. Yeah, I know, but I need to get the food. Okay, the bombing started, but yeah, I know I need to get the food. And that's very small things you see and nobody would probably ever see. Like people were going to risk their life to get some dog food or cat litter for their animals to stay in good condition.
I can't even imagine. Honestly, I'm very sorry that you had to go through all that. When you were there for that for February, March, April, for the 2 months that you were there, after February 24th, did you stay home or what was life like for you?
I stayed home because I would remind you that I'm the owner of Dobermans and they are pretty big dogs. So they won't be in the basement because nobody's glad to see. I'll show you this guy there.
Oh,
He's very cute, but he stays
very
out. Please.
right.
So this lady is not also welcome. So mainly I sent the girls to the warm room in basement because it's the safest place. I stayed with my dogs for them and my cats for them not to get really scared.
And
Because
was it was that the basement that the building was in that you were in living?
it was the basement near my building, like next building to me. So we stayed with the animals at the apartment, and girls went to the basement. I gave them water, food, and a place to sleep because I thought that that would be like safer. And there was a moment when I decided, okay, die, then die. Now let me live as well as I can till I'm alive. And then started the period when we started to eat delicious food, buy things I usually said, okay, I won't buy them. They're too expensive. And I'm like, okay, let's imagine then tomorrow the bomb will come in my apartment. let's buy that, because in other way, my dogs, for example, would never try this. But now we're going to die, so we may.
I'm sorry for the choices and stuff like that. Again, it's a very scary time. It must have been a very scary time for you.
Actually, there in some moment you are scared, and then you're so tired to be scared that you are going to a person who doesn't care. Like, okay, yeah, you're going to kill me. Sure. No, we will give you 3 times more hate. Leave my country alone. 4 times more hate. Leave my country alone. On any of your aggression, I will answer in 3, 5, 6 times more aggressive.
And the 2 months that you were there, how was your daughters?
Actually, on my opinion, they were pretty in good condition, but they ate all the sweets I was getting. And you know that the sweet thing is the good stuff for cortisol, that the hormone of stress. So the more cortisol you have, the more sweets you need. That's the stuff. But I was buying like a lot of cookies, chocolate bars, because they may stay for a long time, and it's much more taste in one chocolate than in some military pack.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean,
so you were eating food from military packs?
uh, that was a piece of my hobby because of my work.
What was your work?
Weapon technique.
Weapon techniques.
Yeah,
Interesting. And
unusual. I know.
what did they do? Weapon techniques, what did you do?
I worked in engraving firearms.
Huh, very interesting.
So that was like, I was thinking what kind of food will not spoil if the fridge would be turned off, if I wouldn't have, like, I'm living on the 6th floor, and if I won't have opportunity to go down, what food should I take at my home? And chocolate bars sounds pretty good idea. Not very healthy, but very tasty.
Very tasty. Yeah. Um, so you stayed in your flat a lot with the
Yes,
girls? And
yes.
then, so for those 2 months that you were in your flat a lot with the girls, uh, they're 15. uh, How did you keep them occupied?
That's easy. You may read books, play puzzles. For a long time, I was giving them, finding them the books they would read with admire. And I found out that there's such a writer as Edith Hunter. She's writing the Cat Warrior story. Do not know, do you know them or not? She writes about cat tribes, and they're pretty nice. You should try them. So we were reading books, playing in puzzles, cooking some tasty stuff. It's, you know, I never understood how can you not get fun with your children. It was not easy to hide the level of stress, but to stay with them, it's always a pleasure.
They're your kids. How can it not be a pleasure?
Well, the
Eh,
teenagers are that things who are eating everything and always like very angry and very grumpy.
In the beginning, after February 24th, how was your food situation? Was it hard to get food? Was
Uh,
there food everywhere? How was that for you?
for me, I'm the person who always have some food for extraordinary situation. That's again because I worked with military a lot, and that gave me some cockroaches in my head about that I should have some food. But the stuff is that you see that the supplies are getting lower, and from time to time, you're not sure will the food be tomorrow, what shops will be opened. And we have one wonderful woman. She was bringing some milk, cream, fish, bread, vegetables for sale near my house for the normal price. And that's what I liked when I saw that the people are staying in alliance and they're not aggressive. Everybody is watching if there's somebody new near our houses because the neighbors do know each other. If somebody is getting some food or a place where to get food, he will tell you. The main problem was not the food, but the medical supply. That was the disaster because all the medical drugs, they just disappeared in a second.
Did your family need medical supplies?
Actually, I do need some medical supplies for my kidneys.
I'm sorry.
Uh, you shouldn't, that's not your fault. But I did need them. And as I told you before the war, we were working with the teeth of one of my girls. So she had problems and she had pain, so she needed painkillers, at least, if not the dentist, but at least the painkillers. And that was a problem. And I was afraid if somebody would get any kind of traumas, then we won't have anything to close the wounds and to, you know, to work with the medical problems in correct way. For example, the cough was that disaster, or if you have some nose problems or something like that, any medical problem was a disaster because there's nothing in stores or apotheques or somewhere else, and you cannot move freely through all the city. You needed some documents to move from one part of the river to the other. They were checking each car because they were expecting guests and not good guests. But actually, I do think we are one of the luckiest family because it looked like we passed it with dignity and much more easier than I would expect it to be. So we are a bit lucky.
And when did you start deciding that it was time to leave?
When I decided that I would be responsible if my children would die right now, I saw that, first of all, the city is getting, the people are disappearing from the city. So somebody is moving somewhere, and all of my friends are writing, okay, I left for Italy, I left for France, I left for Germany. And I'm like, okay, but that's okay, that's your decision. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but my nerve system isn't good enough to stay here. I'm too terrified. And you're like, that's okay. And once I went in cash and carry, and there was very big windows, and the bombing started. And I thought that if something, and you know that the main point I forget to tell you, when the bombing is starting, you do not have any type of connection. The phone connection disappears, and it starts about 2 or 3 minutes before bombing every time. And even till I'm living in safe country, but if I cannot connect with somebody by the phone. I'm really scared that something is happening or internet disappears and I'm like, okay, they are going to bomb us. I should wait for that. So at that moment, I was in the shop. I couldn't call to my girls and ask, are you okay? Everything is okay. So I saw the windows were going waves and cash and carry have very big windows. And I thought, if I won't leave, that's because if my girls would die, that is because I didn't leave. And I didn't leave because I cannot leave my dogs. So from that moment, I started to look for opportunities.
How long did it take?
I told you I'm lucky one because my friend, she has 4 Tibetan Mastiff. And she said, okay, I went to Finland. And if they took my dogs, you shouldn't be worried about yours. And I'm like, okay, we'll try, but probably they will say no to me because the dogs are big, aggressive, they do not like strangers. There are lots of animals like 2 dogs, 3 cats, rodents, children, who would need that? And they said, okay, you just need to get to Poland. And after that, we will send a car after you and we will take you. And the thing about Poland, when you get into Poland, you first get an immigrant center. They are helping people. And that was the experience when you are afraid of people, of strangers, because people are all around you. And everybody is saying, okay, you should go to my country. Let's go to Portugal. Let's go to Italy. Let's go to Germany. Let's go, go, go. And you're like, I won't give you my kidney or a part of liver. What do you want from me? Why are you so friendly with me? What do you need from me? I do not have anything. I have only my dogs and children. Please leave me alone. And people were just going to help.
From all the trauma, obviously you were scared because of what you went through. So therefore, you were scared to be in the crowds.
Not scared to be in the crowds. I just didn't understand why so many people would like to help me. What do they want? If they want to help me, that means they want to change it on something. And on what are they going to change that amount of help?
Mm-hmm. So what kind of documentation do you need to go from Ukraine to Finland?
That's very easy. Your dog should have all vaccinations, or you should do them. Your dog should have a rabies test. The cat's the same, but that wasn't important in a moment when I was moving, but important now. And they also should, that's maybe all. The passports with vaccinations and rabies test. That is most important one.
And what about for your daughters and you?
For us, at that moment, they were taking people from, for example, Mariupol, who didn't have any documents. But for now, you should better have foreign passport and your local passport, at least local passport, to prove where you're from. But I had seen a person who had just 2 lists of her paper, and it was burned all around, and it was seen that she was trying to save her papers, but there is none.
Mm. How long did it take you to get to Finland?
Week.
Wow, a week. That's a pretty long time with your daughters and all the animals.
Yeah, but that's pretty long journey.
How many kilometers?
1,600.
Yeah, that's a lot that's a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
and the funny stuff that I moved from the border with Russia to the border with Russia.
right, right. Yeah. No, I'm sure it's very, very scary. Did you leave family in Ukraine?
Yes, I left there my mom, my husband, and my stepfather.
Wow. Where is your
And
mom
grandma.
and stepfather?
Mom, granny, and stepfather is in Kiev.
And
Still,
where is your husband? What's your husband's name?
I'm not sure. Can I tell that?
Okay. Uh, could you tell me
Still,
his first name? No, don't tell me his name because then they can see your last name as well. So,
uh,
is he working in Kiev?
yeah,
Well, at least he's safe there, correct?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Actually, with my husband, there's a funny situation that we have divorced, but not divorced, but we're still friends. He's still a person with whom I made my children, from whom I wanted my children. So we're still friends, but we're like together but separate, and we're supporting each other. So he's sending some snacks for us, and we're sending some snacks for him. But I'm not sure can I tell any information about him because of his work.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather him be safe. So when you finally got to Finland, where did you stay?
First month I lived in one family on a farm. She had horses and dog and cats and sheep and donkeys and children and husband and everything else. And she was very nice, so she let me live on a part of her house. She gave us room. And the funny stuff that the previous owner of this house is American. Yes, somebody's really worried for me. And she was very nice woman who let us live. She had a lot of problems with us because she couldn't make us went out of the room because she's like, you should get out and speak with me. And we're like, no, we would probably stay in the room. Thank you. But would you like to see the horses? And we were like, yeah, the horses are good. We'll pet them. And then back to the room, back to the room, back to the room. And it's very hard to explain to the person why some usual sounds for him sounds scary for us.
Why did you feel that you had to stay in the room?
It feels more safe there because you do not have to contact with somebody, and there's open place all over the house. And I was that lucky. In Finland, there's the rule: the first Monday of the month, and that's important that that's the first Monday. The air siren is getting loud. So my first day in Finland, I'm opening the doors, and the first sound I hear is air attack. The attention, the air attack is coming. And I'm like, okay, I will know. No way I will go there, and close the door.
Hmm.
But I'm lucky. And the funny thing that she told me about that, but I was so tired after the road that I didn't understand. I was
Good listeners.
She's a bit worried.
I'm sorry. And then
Mom,
how long did it take to get to your current place? Your current resident? Your flat?
it's a flat. That was the great present from there's the city in Finland. It's called Riihimäki. And here is about 1,000 families who have animals. All of people who took their animals with them, they went first on quarantine in Riihimäki, and then they were moved to other cities. But the stuff is that with my amount of animals, there's no apartment who would accept me and say, okay, you may live here. So I am still in that center.
Oh, so you're still looking for a place to stay?
Actually, no. For people who stayed in Finland more than a year, there's opportunity to get to get the rent and to be the part of the Finnish community. But they need to choose would they like to stay in immigrant center or go to Kella. It's local organization responsible for all social parts of people.
And that's through the government of Finland?
One more time.
The government of Finland has both the immigration and the other center?
I would say that if you're in Finland for the year, they're telling that you are still on time protection, but we see that you are planning to stay in Finland. We're great to see you. So you may try to become a part of Finnish community. Because before that, till you're staying in immigrant center, the center is responsible for you and you can go whatever, like go back in Ukraine at any moment. So the government is not really interested for you to get a part of the city. But now they're telling, okay, you should choose the city where you would like to stay, and we will be glad to see you. There's one thing I was going to tell and forget about that, but pretty important about the animals and everything else. "100 families." So it makes your life a bit harder, but if you're from cities like Mariupol, Donetsk, Lugansk, Kharkiv, which are pretty destroyed ones, then they would probably they will become new Finnish Ukrainian community. They will stay here because there is nowhere to go back. And if you do remember statistic about that some people went to Russia when the war started, so you should know that mainly they went through Russia and went to Finland, Norway, Iceland, Estonia, didn't stay. So the numbers are pretty big, but mainly somehow, somewhere, Finland got 80,000 Ukrainians in her. And for Finland, that's a great number.
It's like 1%.
Yeah.
And so now you're able to choose what city you want to go to now?
Yeah.
And when do you get to go to that city? You okay? Take your time.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sure. That's my type of reaction on stress.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
giving you stress.
that, that's okay. That's okay. You're doing very good. Do you hear me?
I hear you. Don't see you.
I do not know why. Wait a second. Why don't you see me? Do you see me now?
Yes, ma'am.
That's wonderful. So, first of all, I need to find an apartment which will be ready to give me rent, like which would say, okay, with your amount of animals, we're glad to see you. I need to find job, and that's a problem in Finland because there's not a lot of job places here, and a lot of Ukrainians who would like to have job, but that's the main problems of Ukrainians probably in any city or country. Like we're like, okay, we would like to have job. What language do you speak? Ukrainian? Is it okay?
Right. No, it makes it more difficult when you can't speak the other languages.
Yeah. And that's a bit difficult language.
Oh, yes, it is. Finnish is difficult. So
Yeah, but Finnish people, that's the thing I like in Finland are Finnish people. And the beauty of the nature. For this two things, you can forget this country, everything. Wonderful country, wonderful people. Everything else is not that important.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The question I have is when you move from the immigration center to whatever city that you choose, that will allow you to have your animals and such. Does Finland pay the rent for a while?
They will pay 80% of that. 20,
80%.
yeah, 20 I need to find by myself.
For how long will they pay the 80%?
For as long as I would need them. If I would find job that will be like on minimal, in that case, I would have help from the government to me. But you won't like to live on minimal with that amount of animals because medicine veterinary for animals is very expensive in Finland. Extremely expensive. One bill can be on 2,000 euros. And the payment of, for example, an immigrant center, the payment is about 300 euros per month.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
big difference. So you're paying to stay where you're living right now?
No, I'm not. Because for now, I'm in immigrant center and the apartment is rented by municipality.
And oh, so you're living, okay, so I got it. You're living in a separate flat. It's your own flat right now. And
Yes.
so it has, the bedroom. I'm sorry.
That's only because I'm lucky because I took a lot of my animals and my dogs. Because other way I would live in probably one room with my girls in a flat with 2 or 3 other families with one fridge, one toilet, and everything else. Because people are coming and coming, and new place doesn't appear.
You are very blessed.
I think that's the response. I saved my animals, now my animals are saving me.
You are extremely blessed, that's for sure. How often do you speak to your ex-husband?
Once a week.
He has anything nice to say out there?
Actually, we're speaking. How are you? How are you? How's your how's your work? How's your house? something like this, but nothing more because, okay, because of his work. We'll say that way.
Sure. What, are you gonna stay in Finland? Are you gonna, or do you want to go back to Ukraine?
Okay, if you will ask any Ukrainian all over the world, would they like to go back home? They would tell you, yes, I would. I would prefer to stay at home because there are a lot of culture differences, the people and everything else, and you just feel lonely mainly. There is thousands of families around me, but still from time to time I do feel lonely because I left all my friends, all my family, and I've got new friends here, but that's not the same. You even people who live here from Ukraine for 18 years, 20 years, 23 years, if they say, are you missing Ukraine? He would tell you, yes, I do. So for now, I may tell you that I will stay as long as it needed for the safetyness of my children, but not more, but not less. And I do not know where I'll get all the money to get back with all of this due.
You'll make it.
I hope I will, because probably I'm the lucky person about that. So I hope everything would go good and we will win soon. But I'm already afraid of telling this word like we will win soon, because first I thought that would take like 3 months. So I won't need any new stuff. So please do not touch me. I won't need anything. And in almost a year, I do have things like washing machine and everything else, because Finnish people are very generous people. But I thought like, why should I take anything if I'm not staying here for long? And in 6 months, you're like, I'll stay here forever. This war will never end. And now we have like new hope that the war will end soon. But we'll see. Yes, I do want to go back, but I won't risk the life of my children. And the animals here are pretty comfortable, so I'll stay here as long as needed. But I do want to go back to my home, to my friends, to the usual food I had.
Do you have uh, family or friends that were in Russia before the war?
Family, no. Friends, yes. And we were speaking with my friends what would we do if we would meet them on battlefield. We decided we'll shoot them in belly because it's mostly not protected. People who support in any way the country that attacked my city, killed my friends, destroyed my life, will not get any mercy from me. I will do everything that I can to support my country, to support my native people here in Finland. And probably I will never forgive.
I can understand that. That's what I want you to know. That's a very the very same feeling from a lot of people I've talked to. Well, everybody I've talked to.
We will never forgive.
Basically, you cut off everything Russian, no more Russian anything.
Yes, but we started to cut the Russian things long time ago, and people did not support us a lot. I mean, not the countries, but even in our country, like we do not buy anything that is produced in Russia.
Right.
And even now, staying in Finland, even when here I see the things are produced in Russia or know that the company is a Russian one, I refuse to use that. I don't think that would give like a lot of, they would lose like one client, but they would lose my money anyway. There's no way I would buy something they produce.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to help anything for Putin.
Oh, I have sent you the bags. That's my small dream. I send you the photo of the bags that are the bags for dog poops. And each time I get my social money for living, I take small amount of them and order some of these bags and give them as a gift to Finnish people for them to show their what do they think about this wonderful person. And I have a dream that I will buy a lot of these bags and send them to all the breeders and to like mainly to all the vet clinics for all the Russians in Finland to see what the Finnish think about Putin.
Yeah. It's
It's a plan for me.
it's a
Sounds
plan. It's a good plan.
probably the crazy one, but that's a plan.
I have another question for you.
Yeah, sure.
What did you think about President Zelensky prior to February 24th?
I would tell that it's we have the words like "не на часі." It's not in time to think about him right now because for me, I do think that he's taking right decisions and we get help and support from other countries, including because he's there.
But
Yeah.
but before the war,
War. I wasn't a fan. Let's tell that. Wait.
I heard, here we heard that he wasn't a very, this is what we heard. I couldn't tell you because I've never lived there, but we heard that
As a president,
he wasn't a very good president and he was going to be voted out. And I could tell you that after February 24th, he became an amazing man.
yeah, because he stands for his own country, and that's the thing you should. That thing you should. Oh my God, I forget the word. You should proud of that.
Absolutely.
The proud is the feeling you should feel about that. You
Pride.
didn't? Yeah. That's the feeling I have about him in this situation. What will be next? I do not know. Will he change or not? Will he stay a good president or he's just good crisis manager? That's not really important. Till he is making the questions is need to be made. In this case, everything else is not that important.
I feel that the Ukrainians are amazing people and very resilient. Very hard, they love their country as they should. Everybody, I think, takes pride in their country and wherever that you live. And I'm no doubt that Ukrainians are very proud and very amazing, resilient people.
Hope so. Hope we will win. Hope we will do that soon.
You will.
Hope we'll burn that country to hell. Uh,
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to tell everybody about anything? Do you just want to tell us, is there any last thing that you want to tell us?
if I would need to tell any last thing, I would want to tell you that, first of all, our war isn't over. We're very grateful for any support we have. Yes, we are different people. Sometimes we're difficult people. We're really proud and we're really grateful for the help, proud for our man who is fighting. And we would share. No, I cannot put my minds in one place. We're grateful, we're proud, we're thankful. That's the main thing you may tell about Ukrainians. And about the story. What should I tell? Probably I may tell how we were moving from country to country, but that's only about me. I would tell that I met here in Finland a lot of Ukrainians whom I would never meet in Ukraine because we're different society layers with different money force and everything else. And I got a lot of new friends here, even we're stressed. And I do see that people are trying to do something. Almost all Ukrainians, even if they are like me, living on social money and not very big one, all of us are trying to help, mainly trying to collect something, to do something, not to stay apart. Probably this one. Not very. That's not like one mind, but that's what I would say. I hope my
Hey,
interview is a disaster.
no, your interview is wonderful. I'm sorry that that doing the interview stressed you out. I don't want to stress you out, but this
I
is
know,
so
when I'm a girl,
it,
that's normal for me.
it doesn't matter if you're a lady or not. Um it's very important, I feel, to have this interview for the future because I feel, history always repeats itself, and it's very important that we have this knowledge of what the normal people have to go through, and all their trauma and just everything, because it's very important that the world sees your human factor. And we are very, 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 very sorry that you have to go through this.
You said that the history is cyclic, like time after time after time after time. One of the reasons why I chose Finland was its history. 100 years ago, I read their history books and they said like extremely the same they are telling now. That's why I thought that Finland, who loves the animals, ready to give me shelter, hates Russians. Good variety for me. But it was pleasant to speak with you.
Yes, it was very nice meeting you. And I hope to be able to stay in touch with you if that's okay.
Sure, you may.
You're a wonderful lady, a very strong lady.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Your girls look up to you, and that's wonderful. And again, thank you very much, and I hope that you stay safe and that you don't have any more issues over trauma, because it looks like you definitely have trauma issues, and I would understand that. And I hope that your life just goes the way you want it to go.
Hope so too.
It will
But it was
happen.
to see and to speak with you too. Hope we'll see more about your cats also, not only in photos, because that's adorable part of the family. Because
Oh,
I'll show
I'll send you a bunch of pictures of my kitty cat. I love him.
that's wonderful. I look like a monster.
No, you don't. You're so
Yes, I
awesome.
do. I
Well,
see.
look at this. See? So I gotta wear my
I
hat,
have to make the same.
you know. So I really, please stay safe, and thank you so much for your interview. I really do. It's very extremely important.
Thank you too.
Kate, be safe. Bye-bye.